The fight against multiple deadly and destructive wildfires continues in Southern California tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Andrea Flores.
And I'm Cecil Hannibal. The focus tonight remains on the two largest fires, the Palisades Fire and the Eaton Fire, as firefighters prepare for strong Santa Ana winds to pick back up this week. The death toll from these fires has now risen to 24. It includes 16 deaths in the Eaton Fire and 8 deaths in the Palisades Fire. Officials also say at least 16 people are missing, but that's expected to rise. About 150,000 people remain under evacuation orders tonight. These fires have also destroyed thousands of structures. That includes more than 5,000 structures in the Palisades Fire and more than 7,000 structures in the Eaton Fire.
Looking at the numbers tonight, the Palisades Fire has burned more than 23,000 acres with 11% containment. The Eaton Fire has burned more than 14,000 acres and is now 27% contained. Crews making a lot of progress on two smaller fires. The Kenneth Fire is now 100% contained after burning about 1,000 acres, and the Hearst Fire is now 89% contained and has burned just shy of 800 acres. Now, this all comes as a red flag warning is in effect for the Los Angeles region through Wednesday night. Firefighters also preparing for those Santa Ana winds to pick back up in a region with low humidity and dangerously dry vegetation.
This wind event is approaching us, and it's approaching us very, very quickly. I want to reassure you that your LEFD, all of our regional partners, every single agency that has come from up and down this state and outside of the state, we are ready. We're grateful for everybody who's here to support us in one of the most challenging natural events in the history of the city. And with that, it's not over. So we need everybody to stay safe. We need to stay informed. And I tell you, from the first responders that are here, we're gonna keep fighting this fight. We're gonna get this fire out, and we're gonna rebuild.
Turn our focus back to the Eaton Fire now, which continues to burn near Altadena. This is aerial video from the fire area today. It shows the extent of the damage in that community, and you can see some of those structures just destroyed. Some still standing, but badly damaged. Again, officials say more than 7,000 structures have been destroyed in the Eaton Fire.
And take a look at this new aerial video of the Palisades Fire area this afternoon. You can see widespread damage in the Pacific Palisades community. Large areas just completely destroyed. Officials say as of right now, the Palisades Fire has destroyed more than 5,000 structures. We want to turn over to meteorologist Dirk Verdorn now. He's tracking the fire conditions for us. So Dirk, we know the winds are going to be the biggest factor tonight.
Yeah, and the good news is the winds have backed off, and we're seeing the results of that. The fires are not growing nearly as fast as they have been. We're just seeing areas that there still are some smoldering areas, but not producing nearly as much smoke as well. But currently, wind speeds, here we go, anywhere from calm conditions around Los Angeles to anywhere from 10 to 12 mile-an-hour winds elsewhere, and that's pretty typical what we see. And we have even some spots here and through the San Bernardino Mountains where we have wind gusts that are up over 20 miles per hour. But the red flag warnings are up, and this is basically from Monday evening through Wednesday late afternoon. You can see the area that it covers. These are areas of concern. We're looking at northeast winds that'll be blowing. We could see gusts up over 50 miles per hour. I'd say between 50 to 60 miles per hour. Humidities are going to be very low. We could see between 10 to 20% humidities. And so we'll have some of the stronger winds, of course, in through the mountains and the hills. So this is the way the forecast is going to be playing out. Again, tonight, not too bad. Winds stay on the lighter side into early tomorrow morning, but as we go through the early morning hours to after sunrise, we're looking at those winds starting to pick up. Mainly in the mountains, we'll see the strongest winds. Here we can see wind gusts between 25 to 45 miles per hour. We're seeing those winds that will continue to increase as we move from Monday into Tuesday. So Tuesday is going to be the day we should see the peak of the winds, and this is when we could see winds up over 60 plus miles per hour over the mountains, while some valley spots could see those winds more likely in the 15 to over 30 mile per hour range. But the winds will be increasing, and these will be those Santa Ana winds coming from the east, moving to the west, out to the ocean, drying things out and making for some very dangerous fire conditions. That's the latest. Back over to you.
Dirk, thank you. Governor Gavin Newsom signing an executive order today aimed at helping these fire victims. The executive order suspends permitting and review requirements to make it easier for people in the LA area to rebuild homes and businesses. It will also protect prices on building materials in Los Angeles County through January of next year. Newsom is also taking suggestions, ordering state agencies to look for ways to streamline the rebuilding and recovery process. Newsom also issuing another executive order today to support recovery efforts, this one directing fast action to clear debris in the areas impacted by the fires and to prepare for future mudslides and flooding.
Governor Newsom was on the ground in Southern California today, touring some of the devastation left behind by the Eaton and Palisades fires. Newsom making stops in both Pacific Palisades and Altadena. This is video from his stop in Altadena. While there, he met with first responders and wildfire survivors. Also today, Governor Newsom discussing the inspections that need to take place in these communities in order for the rebuilding process to begin.
Through the State Fire Marshal, CAL FIRE, working with county partners, teams of 2 go in. They will go in a property like this, they'll assess, and they will photograph, and then they will post online after it's verified, about a 12-hour process, and people can go on a website. They don't have to physically be here to know if their property is damaged, and that will then begin the process for the property owner on insurance and getting us to a point where we can start the rebuild process.
Governor Newsom adding that he wants all of these inspections done within 14 days.
More California National Guard personnel are being activated to support firefighting efforts in Southern California. An additional 1,000 Cal Guard members are heading to Los Angeles County. They're expected to arrive by tomorrow. That brings the total number of Cal Guard boots on the ground to 2,500, helping both on the fire lines and also helping local authorities maintain public safety in impacted communities. I want to show you this video right now from inside a National Guard plane. This crew is taking part in firefighting efforts over the Palisades fire. You can see all the smoke in the sky as the plane approaches that fire area. The MAFS-equipped C-130J then dropping a line of fire retardant on the fire.
More Northern California fire departments are sending resources down to Southern California as crews there continue fighting the Eaton and Palisades fires. Fairfield Fire says they've sent 2 firefighters to the Eaton fire. They're working as fire line paramedics. They also sent 1 firefighter to the Palisades fire with a K-9 who will offer support to first responders on the front line. The Turlock Fire Department sharing this photo on social media. 4 firefighters and an engine headed to the Palisades fire last night as part of a Cal OES task force.
A nightly curfew remains in effect for fire areas in Los Angeles County. Officials say a big reason that curfew is in effect is to prevent looting. California Highway Patrol sharing this photo on social media. It's of their officers alongside California National Guard members at one of the traffic control points in communities in and near the fire area. They say so far they've made 29 arrests for looting. The California Department of Public Health says children may be having a difficult time coping with the stress and anxiety caused by these wildfires.
Even if they aren't personally impacted, it is important to pay attention to the signs that they might be overwhelmed by their emotions. KCRA 3's Leticia Ordaz spoke with a child psychiatrist from Sacramento about what every parent needs to know.
With neighborhoods left devastated by the fires in Southern California, some children are left feeling helpless and scared that this could also happen to their homes in Northern California.
There's so much going on in everybody's mind, and it includes kids. They might also are trying to exercise their own capacity to put themselves in the shoes of the people who have been evacuated. So it is a very normal human response.
Dr. Azra Noberry is a child psychiatrist for Sutter Health in Sacramento. She says anxiety is normal, but it could quickly spiral if kids don't have accurate information.
They might think that the entire city of LA is on fire or something like that. They can develop some kind of anxiety disorder if they're really afraid, if they're living in the acute stress situation. They are constantly feeling that something traumatizing is going to happen to them, and it is not healthy for kids. So we really need to limit the information that the younger kids have.
Dr. Noberry says it's important to validate your child's feelings, to let them express themselves, and to encourage them to maintain their daily schedule.
And even for the older kids, we need to make sure that we create a sense of safety at home. We try to keep the routine as much as possible to make sure that they understand that our life is not impacted. We are prepared for the future if something happens, but let's keep the routine and actually go through our days as we usually do.
Parents we spoke with in Sacramento say they're trying their best to keep a healthy balance to their lives right now.
Definitely as a parent, I feel like it's our responsibility to be mindful of what our kiddos see. And so right now, given my daughter's age, definitely limiting her screen time.
Of course, as a parent, you need to regulate what you're kind of showing to your children. But in this particular case, I'm fine and comfortable with them seeing that type of stuff because it is just a reality of our situation.
If you notice your child is crying more than usual, not eating well, or sleep is disrupted, it may be time to ask for help.
But if this continues for several days, it is an opportunity to check in with their doctor and making sure that if they need to go to see a psychiatrist.
In Sacramento, Leticia Ordaz, KCLA 3 News.
Dr. Noberry from Sutter Health says children can feel empowered during this difficult time by packing an emergency bag and feeling prepared should they ever need it.
What started as a grassroots outreach now turning into a major donation hub for those impacted by the fires. Santa Anita Park in Arcadia is known for horse racing, but now people are flocking to the track with donations and aid. From shoes to jackets to food, the Aid Center for Victims of the Eaton Fires now covers acres. The track canceled races this weekend and let volunteers take over their parking lot. And those impacted by the wildfires are saying this outpouring of support is amazing, including one volunteer who came all the way from Texas just to help out.
It's amazing how all these people come together and help. People that you don't even know. But we're a family.
I want to help because I think that all of our families, all of those brothers that lost their homes and others that are grieving, I think that it'll be uplifting that they know that the community is getting together to help them.
And thousands of people, both those dropping off donations as well as those in need, have come by the track. The donation center is expected to remain open through Wednesday.
Of course, we will continue to follow the latest developments on the Southern California wildfires, both on air and on our KCRA 3 app. And many of you have been asking how you can help the fire victims directly. You can scan this QR code on your screen right now to donate. KCRA 3 is teaming up with the American Red Cross to help people impacted by the wildfires. Your donations will support the victims with disaster relief and other humanitarian efforts.